We are going to read this passage and we're going to determine whether the underlying details are key details that we need to have in order to understand the main idea, or if they are interesting details that the author includes to add more information, but we don't necessarily have to have. Scientists have discovered two new species of lemurs on Madagascar, an island located off the southeast coast of Africa. Lemurs live mainly in forest trees and are nocturnal or active at night. One of the newly discovered creatures has wide eyes, is small enough to fit in a hand, and bounces from tree branch to tree branch in the dark. Its name in Malagasy means good man. Malagasy is the official language of Madagascar. The animal was named after scientist Steve Goodman. He has been studying the tiny creatures in Madagascar for 20 years. It is truly an honor to have an animal named after me, says Goodman. The other species is a giant mouse lemur with a bushy tail. It was named in honor of Madagascar's children. Its name in Malagasy means child. The scientists chose that name to remind Madagascar's children to care for the many plants and animals in their country. Finding a new lemur species is rare because many of the tiny creatures have become extinct. The recent find means that there are now 49 known species of lemurs in the world. Now, in this passage, I would say that the topic we are reading about is lemurs. We are reading then about different types of lemurs that have just been discovered in Madagascar. That would be the topic and almost the main idea of what we were reading about. There's lots of details here that are underlined, and we're going to determine if they are important key details or interesting details. Let's take a look at the first underlined detail. Scientists have discovered two new species of lemurs on Madagascar. Is that an important detail that's telling me about the new lemurs that were discovered, or is that just an interesting detail? I would say that this is an important key detail because it's telling me that two new species of lemurs have been found on Madagascar. The rest of the passage tells me about these two new species in more detail. If I were to take this detail away from the passage, I would not have as good enough understanding of the rest of the passage. So this is a detail that is an important key detail. And on the following slide, I would take that detail from below and I would drag that into the important key detail box. The next detail is about Madagascar. And it says, Madagascar is an island located off the southeast coast of Africa. Now, while it's interesting to know where Madagascar is located, it doesn't affect my understanding of these two new species of lemurs that were found in Madagascar. So this is a detail that's kind of like the sprinkles on the cupcake. It's interesting to know, but I don't have to have it. So on the next slide, I would take this detail about Madagascar and I would drag it into the interesting detail section. You're going to continue to do that for each of these details. You need to determine, do I have to have this detail to understand the passage? Or is it just an interesting detail like some sprinkles on a cupcake? You're going to do that for the 6 details found below on this slide. For your final question today, you are going to choose one of the interesting details that you decided was interesting, not key, but interesting, and explain why it is not a key detail of the text, why it's just one of those extra details. You might explain how it doesn't support the main idea of finding these two new species of lemurs. Why is it simply interesting instead of being an important key detail?